Hey everybody, welcome to Ron's Computer Videos. As you can kind of see, oh my gosh, what a pile of stuff has built up over the last month. I was out of town, and even before then, packages were arriving. Some cool stuff that was donated to the channel by viewers, and a few just pickups and things like that. And just maybe some other items that I was just kind of interested in. So anyway, sit back, relax, and I guess we'll just call this mail call number 1. I absolutely need to clear the decks on something just right out of the gate, and that is this super cool LC3 that was donated to the channel by Sean at Geek with Social Skills. And he sent me this machine because I reached out to him because he had posted a video about his Apple IIe card. I guess he has a retail boxed one. I've got the version that was for like retail, and he's got like a cool one that was just for like the Apple stores because it's kind of in like a brown box. I thought it was kind of cool, but that's kind of how we hit it off. And I was putting together like an ultimate 2E card video, and I was having a bunch of problems with my machine. He reached out to me and very, very kindly donated that machine. Just to kind of read the letter. Hey Ron, find enclosed a Mac LC3 computer for your upcoming retro project that we recently discussed. And I'll put the rest of it up on Still Store just in case you're kind of interested to read it. But thank you, Sean. It was so kind. I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry that it took so long to kind of make a formal sort of thank you on this. So I'll get that out of the way. Gosh, I have got a ton of boxes here and just a ton of little things to open, but I thought what I would do first is maybe talk about like some fun pickups that I made recently. There is a computer store in St. Louis that is called Laclade Computer Recycling, or Laclade Computer something or other. It is a neat little shop, and they have just kind of a little bit of everything. Old PC stuff, they have some Apple II things on occasion, 8-bit micros, but their stock and trade is recycling computers, where if you have a old PC or something like that, you can turn it in there, they'll give it a second life. And the people that work there are super friendly, super nice, and the prices are amazing. So I just wanted to show a couple of items that I picked up there. I'll throw like a link to their stuff in the description as well. But while I was there, I actually picked up I recently got a G4 iMac. So you think like the Luxo iMac, but it didn't have a wireless card. So I picked up an airport card. This was $5, which I didn't think was a terrible price. If I wanted to buy one on eBay with shipping, I'd pay more than $5. But while I was there, they also had, not that this is anything that I can immediately use, but I just thought it was too cool to pass up. It's a VTS Technologies Macintosh PowerBook DVD video PC card for PowerBook G3 series laptops. And $6, and it is just a PCMCIA card, which I can only assume has a MPEG-2 accelerator on it. And maybe I'll use this in a future project, but it was just too neat to just kind of leave there. I also picked up a iMac power cable for $1. I used to have a bunch of these back in the day, and I gave them away or lost them or something, so I thought that was neat. And I also picked up, I think this is for like the blue and white G3, but it's like the Plain Talk microphone. From memory, I have another boxed one somewhere, but I'm thinking that the post on this is a little bit longer than like a regular one for a computer. I could be completely wrong, but for $6, it just looks really neat, and so I picked it up. I also I think I was there and I picked up some other cables and things like that. They've got some great deals on things. You'll have to check them out if you're in the St. Louis area. I also have a ton of envelopes here. Let's clear the decks on envelopes. The first one here is from Tom Barber. I am trying to remember exactly what it was that I had ordered from Tom. Oh yeah. Oh well, it should have clued me in the blue envelope, but it is a blue SCSI. I ordered one of these fully assembled because I'll tell you what, I have less and less time to do these projects these days. But I definitely wanted to play around with this because I'm a big fan of the SCSI SD, and I've been watching a lot of people's videos where they've done reviews on these, and it looks like a fun little device. Kind of neat to go ahead and be able to just drag like disk images over to it for the purposes of setting up your Mac or doing a little bit of testing. And I also ordered like the little sticker, which I thought was cute too. I'm not sure what machine I'm going to use it in, but I'll definitely do some troubleshooting, or I'm sorry, I'll definitely do some benchmarking on it eventually. I know people have kind of said that it's, depending on the machine you use, that it can be faster than SCSI to SD, but maybe not as fast as SCSI, maybe if I'm hopefully saying that correctly, but we'll definitely find out. Here's a little package here from the old net, so it's probably pretty obvious what's in this one, but I ordered a serial Wi-Fi modem a while back, just because I'd really like to. I watched an Action Retro video, and Sean kind of made it really exciting to go back and investigate some of those old MUDs and BBSs and such. And so I ordered one of these. It took a little bit of time to get here, but now that I have one, I'm sure that I'm going to have a fun project that'll be coming up here in the next month or two. You know how those timelines get on your production, where you start working on thinking about something and it just spirals, and you end up with something that you had planned to do in June that took months and months and months to finally get to. But eventually I will get to this. Here's an envelope from JCM, so Joe's Computer Museum. I recently signed up for his Patreon, and as part of being at my level on the Patreon, Joe sends you a nice little envelope, or I'm sorry, a nice little card that says, mine says, Big, McLarge, Huge. Thanks, Joe. And this, it's kind of a Mystery Science Theater joke, as you can see. So this is going to end up stuck on the side of my Apple IIe with some other stuff, some other cool stickers that I acquired recently. All right, we got another envelope here. This one sounds a little shaky. Let's see what's in here. Oh, well, that's cool. Not super exciting, but kind of cool and related to a project that I'm working on. Here's a whole stack of CD74HCT86E, which is just a like a little XOR switch for a project that I'm going to feature on the channel here in a couple of weeks. Adrian at Adrian's Digital Basement did a video kind of related to what I was going to do, and when I saw it I was kind of like crestfallen, because I was like, oh man, I've been working on this thing forever, but I've got maybe a unique take on what Adrian talked about, so I think it'll still be fun. All right, we have another envelope here. This one is from Lauren Millsap, and some of the stuff's been sitting around a bit, and I apologize that I've forgotten what some of these things may be. Oh no, I do remember. This is great. And I cannot wait to do a video on this. Lauren is making reproduction drive sleds for Macintosh machines. And he's constantly doing kind of updates and stuff to make them more compatible with different models, but just kind of a tease here. This is the 3.5-inch universal caddy that I thought I had one laying around, maybe I don't. But this replaces that original caddy that is so super fragile these days, but has like a ton of like new holes drilled in it for all kinds of different devices, for like SCSI SD and some of those other adapters that are on the market. SCSI, I think, is supported by this as well. So he's doing 3.5-inch ones, and from memory, this is a early prototype of the 5.25 one, and absolutely certain that by the time you're watching this video that he has newer ones that he's designed. So we will absolutely have to check that out. I cannot wait to do a video on these because I think that this is a really fun and needed sort of modern replacement item. One more envelope here. This one is from Christopher Castellano, and I'm going to have to see what is inside. I think I've had this one for a little bit. Oh yeah, that's right. Chris was nice enough to send me, I think I was talking about kind of my old days of working retail at Montgomery Ward and how this was the mouse pad that Apple kind of shipped with a lot of those Performa machines, kind of that era. And Chris was nice enough to send me one. So, hey, thank you, Chris. I've got a couple other boxes here, but I want to clean some of the big stuff off the table because I have a couple of other big boxes to pull on. But something that I purchased on eBay recently was a Apple Modem 1200, and I never owned one of these back in the day, but I absolutely think that this is, especially for certain Snow White era machines, like this really speaks to me. And I think it's going to make a really cool project video here in the next couple of weeks. There is this very iconic, there's the manual that came with it. I've got all the paperwork and everything, which is really neat, parts lists and all those things, but I just think that this picture right here is such an iconic sort of thing for that era, and we're going to talk about it. Another thing that I've already opened and been playing around with and really need to kind of clear the decks on this video is I bought a QuickTake 100. I used to do a lot of QuickTime VR stuff way back in the day, and I didn't own a digital camera, but I had a friend that did, and so we'd make some kind of neat videos and all that with all those. But I very quickly realized with the QuickTake 100 is that the limitation of the number of pictures you can take really makes it difficult to do anything meaningful with this. So why buy one QuickTake when you can buy two for twice the price? So I also have a QuickTake 150 with the original box. I like the QuickTake 150. This one's a little more scuffed up and all those type of things, but I do like the 150. I do think that it's kind of nice. It's got the, I guess, the extra compression, or maybe it has a little, I think it was just a difference in the compression codec on it, because I don't think it has any additional actual storage, but it can just better compress your images. Something that was also nice is I think that I'm fairly certain that the 150 also included the macro lens accessory kit. I could be wrong on that. Probably when I get around to doing my QuickTake video, I will delve into that a little bit more in depth. But this 150 is really great. It included the original cable, included all of the software, all the original manuals and stuff. So really looking forward to maybe going out and doing some comparative photography with the QuickTake 100, the QuickTake 150, and maybe a couple of modern Apple and Android cameras. So we will have to see. Couple more small boxes, kind of clearing the decks on some other things that I purchased recently. I wanted to, it's so tiny, it's so cool. The A2IO, I purchased one of these, and I was going to feature it in my Ultimate Apple IIe card video recently, but I misplaced it. I couldn't find it. So when I couldn't find it, it really made it difficult to kind of include it in the video. But the plan is that at some point, kind of in the future, I'll do another Apple IIe video, or an Apple IIe card video, and feature this in that video. But it'll be a little bit before I circle back around to that. But anyway, really cool device. Allows you to use a like an iPad, sort of, or I guess Bluetooth joysticks and things like that, as a replacement for the sort of like an Apple II joystick. And I remember that you can even use like the app on a iPad as like a koala pad, so you can actually get out there and draw and do some of those other fun things. So definitely gonna circle back around to this. Here's a package that I have had for like way too long. This came to me from Byte Booster, and there is no excuse why I haven't gotten around to this, except for the fact that I wanted to give kind of the most thorough sort of review and sort of test on this that I possibly could. And what I've got right here are a couple of RGB to VGA and RGB to component adapters that Byte Boosters produced for the Apple IIgs. This one right here, this is the RGB, it's RGB to VGA and component video, that basically you can take the output on your 2GS and hook it up to some more modern displays that'll support the appropriate refresh rate. I shot some video on this a while back on my PVM. It looks amazing, but I just had a ROM 1 at the time. I also wanted to get a ROM 3. Not that there's a huge revision, but for the sake of being 100% testing every possible combination, I wanted to get a ROM 3. I have a ROM 3 2GS now, so I can probably finally get around to making this video. Really apologize how long this has taken. There's also some neat little accessories. There's another one here that I also really think is cool. This one is the 2GS's native RGB output and converts it to SCART. I've got quite a big investment in SCART hardware, so this works out pretty good for me. All right, I've got a SCART switcher, and then all of my cables and stuff for my PVM are SCART. So super handy to have just a regular Euro SCART connection on like your Apple IIgs. And this looks amazing. I hooked this up. It looks really great, but we will get more in depth on that in the future. And there are also some additional, there is an extension cable that comes with these kits. There is also a couple of other adapter cables that ship with these as well, that kind of get you where if you're trying to extend your video out, you can very easily sort of get it out of your case for doing some of these other projects. But again, we will go way into the weeds on this in a video that I hope to have out very, very shortly. Here's an item that I did some horse trading to get, and this is for yet another video that has been in the pipeline for quite a long time. It is, I kind of talked about this in another video that I did about the Macintosh, or the Apple DOS compatibility card for like the Quadra 610 Power Mac 6100. And what I was talking about is how you can try to get MIDI output out of the card. And I really needed an extra card to maybe do some of those testing with. So I had an extra cable, but I didn't have an extra card. And thankfully, we crossed paths, and I was able to do a little bit of trading, and I got a second DOS compatibility card, sans bracket, which I don't really need, and sans processor. But I have a few DX266 chips, so it shouldn't be any trouble at all to go ahead and slap a card on here. But really what I need is another copy of the actual Vibra 16 little sound card on here, so I can do some experimentation without having to potentially make sort of irreversible changes to my original. So thank you so much. It's really going to make it a lot better for me, or it's going to make it a lot easier for me as I... Hey everybody, it's Ron from Timelineville. It was right about now. I didn't see because I was across the room, but the battery died in my wireless mic setup. So the Rode was no longer recording any kind of audio, which sure made it a pain in the butt to finish up this video. But what I'll do is I'll just provide some quick narration, and I'll cut the rest of the segments down to make them run a little faster. So hopefully we can go ahead and finish this video up. Okay, the next thing that arrived is another box from Sean at Geek with Social Skills. He was kind enough to send me an 800K floppy for like the Macintosh Plus, external that is. Pretty handy to have for one of those classic machines. Next up was something that I have been really wanting for a long time, ever since I saw one kind of advertised in Macworld way back in the day, and that's the Apple Power CD. I was able to find somebody that was selling one, and it also has the remote and the power supply and stuff. It doesn't have the base, but I'm going to work on trying to source one of those maybe in the next couple of months. Another package from Sean. This time has a couple of new bus video cards. I'm going to be participating in GPU June, so it's nice to have some of this stuff on hand for that. Hey, yet another box from Sean. What a great guy. And this time, it was something that I had talked to him about a long time ago, where I was trying to source a box for a Apple Modem 300 for an upcoming video. And he also sent me another thing that I've been looking for a good long time, and that's an Apple Extended Keyboard 1. The Extended Keyboard 1, as you'll see, the logo's on the lower right, there's a little bit more headspace at the top. Here's a comparison between it and a Keyboard 2. Keyboard 2 on top. Keyboard 2 also has that little slider for the expanding feet. So anyway, that was super great for him to send that to me, and really, really appreciate it. That's probably going to go ahead and wrap up mail call number 1. Sorry about the audio issue. I thought I had everything charged up and ready to go, but that's kind of the nature of the game on this stuff. You get in a hurry, you're working on a video, and you kind of forget some of the small things. So anyway, everybody, thank you so much for sticking around and watching these videos, and thank you to everybody who sent things in, especially Sean from Geek with Social Skills. I really appreciate your friendship. Thank you so much for helping promote me and try to help me out with some of these projects. So anyway, everybody, thank you so much once again. Have a wonderful evening, and as I always say, Apple II forever.